Hello, how are yous? I hope you're well. I hope you had a good weekend. It's Sunday night here in the McGinty house, and well, Beyonce's getting played, and I have run away, so I don't have to dance. Okay, an injured knee. That's the only reason. And I don't want to be the best dancer in the house again, which is always the case. Anyway, Odin had just been turned back into Odin from being the eagle by Freya. Let's see what happens next. But Freya had already put her attention on the bear and was kneading at it with both hands, pushing and moulding, like a mother bear licking her cubs into shape. Beneath her fair hands, the bear changed. He was red-bearded and covered in hair, and his upper arms looked as knotted and as powerful as ancient trees. He was the biggest man who was not a giant that Odd had ever seen. He looked friendly, and he winked at Odd, which made the boy feel strangely proud. Here he is. You wouldn't want to be up against him at centre-back, would you? Odin tossed Thor a tunic, and he walked into the shadows to get dressed. Then he paused and turned back. I need my hammer, Thor said. I need Mjolnir. I know where it is, said Odd. He turned it into a boulder. I can show you if you like. When we've finished the important business at hand, perhaps, said the fox. Me next. Freya looked at the animal, amused. You know, she said, many people will find you much easier to cope with in that shape. Are you sure you don't want me to leave you? The fox growled. Then the growl became a choked cough, and the fox said, Fair Freya, you joke with me, but remember the words the bard sang? A woman both fair and just and compassionate. Only she can be compared to glorious Freya. He's saying, Freya, you've got to turn me back, isn't he? Loki, you caused all this. She said, all of it. Yes, he said, I admit it, but I found the boy as well. You can't just focus on the bad stuff. One day, said Freya softly, I will regret this. But she smiled to herself, and she reached a hand out and touched the black tip of the fox's muzzle, then ran her finger between its ears and along its spine and all the way up to the very tip of its tail. A shimmer. Then a man stood in front of them, beardless, flame-haired, as pale of skin as Freya herself, eyes like green chips of ice. Odd wondered if Loki had a fox's eyes still, or if the fox had always had Loki's eyes. Thor threw Loki some clothes. Cover yourself, he said bluntly. Now Freya turned her attention to Odd. Her gentle smile filled his world. Your turn, she said. I am now. I look like this anyway, said Odd. I know, said Freya. She knelt down beside him, reached out a hand towards his injured leg. May I? If you want to. She picked him up as if he was light as a leaf and put him down on the great feasting table of the gods. She reached down to his right foot and deftly unhooked it at the knee. Ouch. She ran a nail across the shin and the flesh parted. Ow. Freya looked at the bone and her face fell. It was crushed, she said. So much not that I can even repair it. And then she said, but I can't help. She pushed her hand into the inside of Odd's leg. Ow. Kneading the smashed bones, pulling together the fragments from inside the leg, smoothing them together. Then she opened the flesh of the foot and repeated the same operation, putting the pieces of foot bone and toe bone back where they were meant to be, and then she encased the skeletal leg and foot in flesh once more, sealed it up, and the goddess Freya reattached Odd's leg to Odd, and it was as if it had always been there. Sorry, she said. I did the best I could do. It's better, but it's not right. She seemed lost in thought. Then she said brightly, why don't I replace it entirely? What about a cat's rear leg? Or a chicken's? Odd smiled and shook his head. No, thank you. This is good, he said. Odd stood up cautiously, put his weight on his right leg, tried to pretend he had not just seen his leg unhooked at the knee. He leaned on it. It did not hurt. Not really. Not like it used to. Give it time, said Freya. A huge hand came down and clapped Odd on the shoulder, sending him flying. Now, laddie, came very Scottish, boomed Thor. Tell us just how you defeated the might of the frost giants. He seemed much more cheerful than when he had been a bear. That's why his voice has changed, guys. There was only one of them, said Odd. When I tell the story, said Thor, there will be at least a dozen. I want my shoes back, said Loki. That's where we'll leave it tonight, guys. Or today, when you'll see it. I hope you have a good Monday. And I hope that snow stays away, because I'm sick of it. And it looks like it's gone. Hopefully it's gone for a while. So we do enthusiasm here, don't we? I love the fact that even a god couldn't fix Odd's leg. I think there's something kind of, not everything can be fixed. I think that's an important message sometimes. Even with Lego. And you can fix just about everything with Lego. So you can. Puzzles. I'm puzzled as to the Loki's eyes, but I really like the fact that you didn't know the eyes were the exact same. Loki's a fox. Loki's got the potential to be Sleekit, hasn't he? And connections. I have no injuries this week to tell you about. I have not met the goddess Freya. I have not broken my leg. I have not been turned into Thor. I have had someone massage my leg because it was very sore. A physiotherapist. That's the only connection I've got today. But that's good enough because it's my connection, isn't it? Right? That's how connections work. As long as we can make a wee link to our lives, that's all right. Okay, guys, I will see you on Tuesday, tomorrow. Okay, bye. Be good.